Today I've got a bunch of filters from Freewell. These are the Split ND 4-pack filters, and these ones we are definitely going over today. Typically a drone comes with one camera and you only need one strength of filter, but because this drone right here, the DJI Mavic 4 Pro, comes with 3 different cameras with 3 different size sensors and 3 different size apertures. The cameras are literally completely different. You will need different filters for each one of these cameras to match them up as closely as possible. So what do I mean when I say match them up as closely as possible? I mean you can jump out of this camera and switch to this camera or switch to the third camera without having to come back, change, and put a different filter on, because all filters have different strengths, so that in theory, at least, we'll test them out, you can jump between the 3 cameras and the exposures should be the same, if that makes sense, or very, very close. So before we jump to the drone, let me just show you the basics on filters. It doesn't matter if you're shooting 4K, 5K, 6K, 7K, 8K, that really doesn't matter. What matters is your FPS, or your frames per second. And I'll show you in the drone in a second, but just a general rule of thumb, if you're shooting at 25 frames per second, your shutter should be 1/50. 25 twos, 50. That's how it works. If you're shooting at 30 frames a second, then your shutter should be 1/60. Again, 32s, 60. 1/60 in this case. If you're shooting at 60 frames a second, then that's fine too, but you have to be at 120 on your shutter, 1/120. Now that we got that out of the way, come over to my screen over here for the drone, and right now I have no filter on, so there's no filter on this drone. I go to my settings. I am shooting 6K 30. I'm a 30 FPS guy, so we'll just leave it there at 30 FPS. Now, remember the rule I showed you on the paper, right? If I'm 30 FPS, then that means my shutter should be, come over to my shutter should be 1/60. 1/60. Boom, there we go. Right? 1/60. Now look at what's happening there. Now that I've adjusted my shutter, my image is just, I mean, you won't film with this, right? No. Now you might say, just go in auto shutter and it's going to take care of everything. Yeah, my shutter will go to 1250, which is an insanely fast shutter. And my image is going to get jittery, not as smooth, not as buttery, not as cinematic that we're looking for. So it's not the end of the world shooting at a fast shutter, especially if you're a beginner. Go ahead, put it in auto. You don't even need ND filters. But if you want to up your game, and the finer details are starting to make a big difference for you. You already know how to fly. You already know how to get cinematic shots. Now you want quality footage, because maybe you're thinking about selling the footage, or maybe you're thinking about getting clients. Then yes, you're going to have to learn to use these ND filters, especially now clients want a lot of low flying shots. They don't want high shots. And if you're flying high, you don't really need ND filters, because you don't notice much motion at a high altitude. But if you're flying low, you're definitely going to need these ND filters. And as a result, you can't have your shutter at 1250. So let's take it off auto and move it back down to, I'm shooting 6K 30, 32s are 60, so I have to be 1/60. And that's it. Now some people might say, well, just adjust your aperture. Yeah, you can adjust your aperture too. If I put my aperture in auto, my aperture will go to f10. Now, generally, as you can see here, DJI labels it. They label their best aperture not at f2, not at f2.2, not at f2.5, but f2.8. And it says that's the optimal aperture selected. So that's the aperture that they recommend. So I want to leave it at that aperture. I want the optimal aperture. I want the optimal shutter, which is 1/60. And I want my ISO lower. A matter of fact, if I go higher on the ISO, my image gets even worse. So I can't, look at that, it's gone. So your ISO should always, you should always try to keep it as low as possible. except if you're filming in log, and we'll talk about that in a little bit further in the video as we test these filters. So these are the optimal settings, but my image doesn't look optimal. To make the image look optimal, I've got to select the correct ND filters and slap them on. So I'm gonna go with the strongest filter in this pack because it's a really bright day. And in theory, the ND64, which is the darkest filter at the top, for the main camera, because the main camera allows more light to come in, it has a bigger sensor, and that's why they put a darker filter at the top and they put lighter filters at the bottom. If you're looking on my screen, you'll see I have the optimal settings, and then as soon as I put this filter, I'm just gonna dangle it in front of the drone. Look what happens. The image gets a lot, look at that. The image gets a lot darker. And so what that allows me to do is keep my optimal settings without having the image being too bright. Let's put this on. I've got the darkest filter out of this bunch on the drone. Let's take it for a spin and, well, let's see how it flies.
Take off. Home point updated.
Look at my histogram. I've got a nice amount of data to the left, but I'm not jamming the left. Means my my whites are not, my blacks are not crushed. And look to the right. I've got a nice smooth histogram there peeking to the right, so my highlights and my bright areas are not crushed as well. So this is perfectly exposed. Now my ISO is at 200, which is fine. Anywhere between ISO 100 and 400 is good in the day. I've got my shutter at 1/60, and I've got my optimal aperture. And even if I switch to the next camera, you can see it's the same thing, ISO 100. My shutter is 1/60. And everything perfect, beautiful, zero exposure. If I go to the 6X camera, you will see the same thing here. My shutter is about 1/60. My ISO is at 160 and beautifully exposed. Really, really nice. Look at that. Really nice. You know, this is as bright as it's going to get in New York, and it's been like this for weeks. So the darkest filter in this pack, which is the ND64 and 32 split filters, work great on all three cameras.
The pressure of the outside. Come to me. Let me help you revive. Let me guide you to revive the light. Let me guide you to revive the light. 'Cause there ain't no way. Feel like taking over. 'Cause there ain't no way. No way.
But here is the problem I have with these ND filters that I have to tell you about. Let's come over to the settings, and this is where the problem begins. On a hot day like today, all right, I'm in normal mode, it's fine. Even if you're gonna film in D-Log M, it is fine. Let's go to D-Log M and check the settings. Look at that, beautifully exposed on the 6X camera. Come back to the 2.5 camera, beautifully exposed. Come back to the main camera, beautifully exposed. No problems in the world.
The pressure of the outside.
When you go in D-Log, and this is where the difference happens, right? Your minimum ISO settings on D-Log is 400. It will not go below 400. 400 ISO is the lowest that you can shoot in D-Log. Now your image is overexposed. In this case, look, it's at +1. I've been in some worse days where it's like +2. Yeah. And this is the darkest filter available in all the bunches that Freewell sent me. Now, this is a problem because a ND64/32 is not going to cut it. Look what's going on here. Now, granted, look at the histogram. The histogram is not showing overexposure. It's not showing overexposure. I go to my 3 dots at the top here and I come to the camera and I have my overexposure warnings on and it still doesn't show it in D-Log. So that's good. It means I'm not overexposed. So you can film in +1 and this camera is so good that it will not overexpose your image. I don't see any stripes, right? Let's switch it to 2.5. Now here's the problem. Here is where the problem lies. The 2.5 camera with the correct settings, my 1/60th shutter just went to overexposed by almost 2. It's +1.7. So this is a problem. This is definitely a problem. Let's go to the 6X camera. Let's see how it looks. Look, you look up, you look at the sky, it's overexposed by +1.7. So that's a problem. Now, the only way for me to fix this is to go in auto shutter. And to go in auto shutter, I could have done that without ND filters. I didn't really need the ND filters if I was just going to run my shutter. And so the problem is, as great as these filters are for normal color profile and for D-Log M, it's not strong enough for D-Log. So if they are professionals out there, and yes, most professionals will pick the time of day so they don't have to deal with it, but sometimes you don't get that luxury of time of day, and I really believe that Freewell should make an all-day pack for this. When you look at these filters here, these are my Mini 4 Pro filters by Freewell, and Freewell gave the whole caboodle over here. It starts at ND16 because the Mini 4 Pro has a very fast aperture at f1.7, and then it goes to 32, then 64, then 128, then 256, then 512, then 1000. You have got a full array of ND filters. So no matter if you shoot in D-Log M, you shoot in normal color profile, you shoot on a sunny day with the Mini 4 Pro's fast aperture, you can get a filter that suits your day. And this is an all-day pack, so it doesn't matter what time you're filming, there's a filter in here for you. And because I do not have, and I don't know if Freewell makes an all-day pack, this is only a 4-pack. Now my D-Log footage is kind of being held up, and that's a big bummer. I love to color grade, take my footage to the computer, and do me.
Where are my slippers? Where's my notebook? My dreams, write them down. Write down your dreams. Write down your dreams. Don't forget to write down your dreams. More silence. More silence. And now, it's time to go. My journey to where I'm going is steady and still silent. I gather my belongings and my clothes, my garments, my gloves, my socks, my heels, and I put them together in a way that I'm telling a story with my appearance. The silence starts to break. I start to sing to myself and gauge how I feel. I put my clothes on, and still more silence, more silence.
Is this a huge deal breaker for me? Well, not really. I'm shooting in D-Log M for now, hoping that Freewell actually, just as you have 64 at the top, if you had a 64 at the bottom, meaning the entire filter was just an ND64, I feel like that would solve the problem, because the one at the top, you would adjust the aperture a little bit and not have to change your shutter speed, and you'll be able to darken the image to the ND64. But the two at the bottom only have an ND32. Taking this from a 32 to a 64 would actually be very helpful. But for now, if you're shooting normal color profile or D-Log M, absolutely go ahead and buy these filters. I think they will work great. Make sure you give this video a huge thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified when I release new tutorials and videos about drones and tech in general. Head over to www.dronexfactor.com if you're looking for LUTs for your D-Log M or D-Log footage. For any drone, any log footage, I've got 60 plus LUTs over there. One is bound to do the job. If you need to talk to me and you can't get me in the comment section, think about becoming a patron. It's only $1 a month. That's $12 a year. And you get direct access to me. It's like sending me a text message. If you want to see more and learn more about this drone, check out this video up here. If you want to learn more about this controller, the RC Pro 2, check out this video down here. With that being said, I've got to go. I hope you enjoy this video, and I will catch you, well, whenever I can.
In still more silence.